Hi everyone, Salesforce Development Day 20. Let's see what we are going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview and then we'll talk about the else if condition and nested if condition, and then we'll talk about the switch statement and iterative statements. Then we'll have a trailhead list. Now, what did we learn in previous session?
Few map methods, differences between list, set, and map, apex code flow, logic, conditional statements, if condition, simple if condition, if else condition.
Right, so the last topic which we have discussed is if else condition. And also we have seen the differences between the map, set, list, right? Map methods also we have seen how the apex code flow logic gets executed, right? So we have seen that. And the last one is if else statement. Then today the continuation of if else statement, we have another condition else if statement. Else if statement. Else if statement is nothing but if you want, for example, last time which we have seen, let's go to the developer console. Right, this is the if else statement which we have seen in the last session. So if first number is greater than second number, then we are printing the first number is the highest. For example, second number is the highest, then we are simply going into the else condition. Assume that if both of the Assume that if first number and second number both are same. Both are same. In that case, I need to identify first if condition is not satisfied, that is perfectly fine. But is the second number is same as a first number? If it is the same as a first number, then again I wanted to print here first number, second number both are same. Or else again, I need to check if really if really the second number is greater than the first number. Is the first number is smaller than the second number or second number is greater than the first number, then only go for it. So if you wanted to do more conditional execution, then we will go for the else if. So else if is the feature is used to prepare the multiple branches of a conditions from the which only one branch statement will be executed at a time. Right? So if any of the branch conditions are matching or satisfied, then it will execute the association block. So for example, here it is a if condition is matching, then it will execute it. In case if condition is not matching, by default it is going to else condition. But in else condition also we wanted to check what is the actual condition, why it is going in the else condition. So that means if even in the else also we wanted to cross verify that whether it is matching or satisfied the condition, then only execute the block inside this statement. So which is the second point. If any of the branch conditions are matching, satisfying, then it will execute the associated block of the statement. Now, in case if all the branches are failed, like everything, here also we have a condition, this is also failed, other condition is also failed, then if everything is failed, then we'll have a finally the execute button as a else block statement. That means give all different scenarios of conditions. If none of them are executed, then finally we'll have a else block statement. So that's the third point. If all the branch conditions are failed, then it will execute the else block statement. Take a notes of it. Done. Okay. So now here, let's move on. Let's see the condition. Now, else if condition, let's see the syntax. If the condition, we have a first condition. If the condition is true, then we will execute the statement 1. In case if the condition is a false, whatever the condition is there, this does not meet the criteria, then it will not execute the block statement. It will go to the another condition. It will go to the another condition. In that condition also, if the condition is true, then it will execute the statement. If this condition is also not true, then it will go to another condition. That means we have a syntax of if condition, then in case if it is a true, then execute the statement block. Else in case if it is not true, the first if condition is not true, then it will check the second else if condition. If this else if condition is true, then it will execute the statement. In case if this is also not true, then it will go to another else if. Like this, it will go to the multiple else if conditions. Then finally, we'll have a else condition without any else, without any condition. Then that is a default block statement. Default block statement. Now this is the how it is going to execute. Check the condition. If it is a true, execute the statement. If it is a false, again execute the next condition. If this condition is true, then execute the statement, or else if this condition is also false, then go for a next condition. Like that, we have a flexibility to check multiple conditions. Then we can execute. When in case if none of the conditions are not matching, then finally we'll have a else condition. So developer has to make sure that what are the conditions that they are checking it. Is it valid condition or not? They have to cross verify it. Right? So take a notes of the syntax. Done. Okay. So let's see the requirement. Write an Apex program to print the season name based on the month number. That means I have a month number and a season name. If month number is between the 1 to 4, then I wanted to print as a winter season. If month number is 5 to 8, then I wanted to print the summer season. If month number is between the 9 to 12, including 9 to 12 also, from now 9 to till 12, then it has to print it as a spring season. In case if it is a less than 1 or greater than 12, usually month will be having only up to 12. If it is a less than 1 or a greater than 12, then we should print invalid month number. Invalid month number. So in that case, how we are going to write a program. Now here, one variable which I needed to declare it, which is a month number. I need to declare the month number. Now season name is the output. Season name is the output. This is the output. So I have an input which is a month number. Now, what are the user is entering the month number? Whether they are entering the month number equal to 7, then what should happen? It should execute this and print the season name as a summer. If month number equal to 8, then it has to execute print the summer season. If month number is equal to 12 or anything between the 9 to 12, then it should print the spring season. Right? So this is how the logic we have to write it. So first I have a integer month number. So let me declare the variable integer. This is accepting only the numbers. So that's the reason data type is integer. Now let's say here, no. So first integer equal to month number, right? This is the month number. Now the first thing I have, three scenarios I have. 1 to 4, winter season. Now here, 1 to 4, it has to be a winter season. And then we have a 5 to 8, summer season. And the next one we have a 9 to 12, spring. And finally, if it is a less than 1 or greater than 12, then it should print invalid month number. Invalid month number. Okay, this is the condition. Now, first condition I'm going to check. The first condition is I need to check if whatever this month number is there, if this month number is either greater than or equal to 1, right? And then I also need to check month number is either less than or equal to 4. So these two conditions has to be satisfied. That means between the 1 and 4, any number user is entered, we should take it. That means here we have to put a AND condition. So we have to write a AND condition. Now you can write it ampersand ampersand. Instead of the AND, we use the ampersand ampersand. Now here, now let's specify here month number is greater than or equal to 1, month number is less than or equal to 4, then what we are going to print is system dot debug. I'm going to print season name. This is the winter season. Winter season. This is the first if condition. Now another if condition I need to write it. Instead of writing the another if condition, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write here else if then I'm going to cross verify the if month number is greater than or equal to 5 and month number is less than or equal to 8, then season name is summer season. Now this is the 5 to 8. Similarly 9 to 12. 9 to 12 also I have a else if. Now for this else if, it is going to check greater than or equal to 9 or less than or equal to 12. Then in that case, this is a spring season. Spring season. And finally, if there is none of the conditions are not true, then we are going to check else system.debug invalid month number. I'm going to specify invalid month number right? So let's say here, please enter month number between 1 to 12. Right, so this is entire logic. This is entire logic. Let's go ahead and execute this. Now here we have it. Now what is the output? Will I get it? What is the output? Will I get?
Variable null. Null
Need to assign month number.
So here I'm going to get the output is successful. Output is successful. And what I'll get it, I'll say there is a else condition, default else condition is there, invalid month number. So right now I have not specified any month number. So what will happen, cursor, it will check, initialization is happening. So it will check, is this true? No. Then go to the another condition, is this true? No. Then it goes to the another one, is this true? No. Then finally it will go to the last else condition. When it goes to the last else condition, there is no condition is there. So by default, what will happen? It will try to execute the last one. It will try to execute the last one. Now, for example, if I specify the month number is equal to 10. Now, what will be the output right now?
Spring season.
Spring season. Now, let's try to execute the highlighted one. It says spring season. Previously, what was happening? It was giving the invalid month number. Now I have defined the value. Then it is providing the information. So this is about the whatever we have discussed. Else if condition. Else if. Now let's move on to the next one. Let's take an assignment. Write a Apex program to print a month name based on the month number. So you have a month number, month name. So if it is a 1, then you have to print the January. If it is a 2, print February, like that till 12 December. In case if the user is entered less than 1 or greater than 12, then you have to say invalid month number. Less than 1 is also considered as a null, empty, blank. Take a assignment. Okay. So let's move on. Next one is a nested if. Nested if condition. This is if you have a more complicated scenario, usually we go for a nested if. That means by using the nested if condition, this feature we can include, insert an if condition into another if condition to achieve the complex functionality. So that means now here I'll show you that if this is normal. If the condition is true, then the statement 1 will execute it. In case if it is a false, then it will go to the another condition. In case if it is a true, there is a possibility that within that again I have a another condition. Within that, I have another condition. Like this, within the if, again we might have another if condition. Now let's say, for example, syntax is if condition is true, then execute the statement, or else it will go to the else condition. Inside the else condition, I have one more time the if condition is there. If again within that, again one more if is there. So within the else, I have a if condition and the else condition. Within the else, we have a if condition and else condition. Again within the if, I have a one more if condition. I have a one more if condition. So the logic will be, this is a for any complicated functionalities, we use the nested if. If else is the normal, which we know. If else is the normal, which we know. Within the else condition, I have a one more if condition and the else condition. Right? So within the else, I have a if condition and else condition. Again, within this, we have a one more if condition. So the execution will happen if the condition is true, then it will execute this statement. Otherwise, it will go to the else condition. When it goes to the else condition, first it will check the if condition. If this is true, then again it will check another if condition. If this is true, then it will try to execute it. In case if the condition is false, then it will go to the else condition. And possible that in else condition here also we can have a one more if condition, if else conditions. So this is the nested if condition for the mostly for the complicated one. Now let's see the requirement for this. Let's say write an Apex program to find out the student result and the grade as below. Now requirement is they have a 5 subject, right? English, Hindi, Maths, Physics, Chemistry. And then we need to calculate the total marks of the student. What are the total marks for the each student? We need to calculate it. And then find out is the student result. What are the total marks result is there? Whether it is a pass or fail. If it is a pass means if the student got a more than 40 marks in each subject, then it is a pass. That means I need to print the student result and total marks. And next, if it is a failed, if the failed is nothing but they got a less marks, like a less than 40 marks. Less than 40, they got the for either one of the subject, either maybe in English less than 40 or Hindi less than 40 or a maths or a physics or chemistry. Any one of the subject that if they got a less than 40, that means they are failed. Then we are going to print the student result and total marks. This is at the high level. Now inside this we have a few more details. Now first let me execute the high level one. Now in this case we have a 5 variables we need to declare it. 5 variables I need to declare it in English, Maths, Hindi, Physics, Chemistry. 5 variables I need to declare it. So when I declare the 5 variables, then I need to calculate the total marks of the student. That means I need to have another variable which stores the total marks. I need to have another variable which stores the total marks. Now let's go ahead and just create the variables. So this is the student marks and grade. Student marks and the grade. Now here I am going to declare the integer marks and integer Hindi. We have a Hindi, right? Subject. Right. So English, Hindi, and then integer.
Sign.
English, and then physics, chemistry. Right, these are the 5 variables, and also I need a integer total marks. Total marks. Now this total marks I need to calculate it. Total marks is nothing but sum of all this, whatever the sum of these values are there, everything I need to take it. So let's give us the total. Let's add those values. Now that means I need to add it here. Total marks equal to whatever this maths plus Hindi plus English plus physics and then chemistry. And this is the integer. And this is the total marks. Now here this is the, we are done with the first and second. Now I need to find out of the, if the student got more than 40 marks in the each subject. More than 40 marks in the each subject. Now let's say here if they got a 40 marks in the each subject. That means I need to cross verify here if they got a greater than, the marks is a greater than 40 and Hindi also greater than 40 and English is also greater than 40. Let's say greater than or equal to 40. So possible that they might got a just 40. So equal to 40 and physics also greater than or equal to 40. Then we have a chemistry. Chemistry is also greater than or equal to 40. Then in that case, I'm going to, what we have to do? We have to, if everybody in every subject, if they got a 40 marks, then we have to print the student result and the total marks. Student result and the total marks I need to print it. Let's say here, system dot debug let's say congratulations. You got pass marks. You got passed. Right, this is 1 and then system dot debug. And I'm going to print the total marks. Total marks are total marks we have in the variable called total marks. So whatever this variable is there, I'm printing that variable. Right, this is the if condition. Then in case if they are failed, then what we have to do is we need to go for print the result of total marks. Now that means just we have a else condition, else, and I'm going to print the two debug points here, system.debug. Let's say here you have failed. Let's say better luck next time. Now total marks, I'm going to print the total marks. This is the done. And next thing we are going to check in the past. In case if it is a 40 marks, every subject they got a 40 or above the 40 marks, then we need to calculate the average marks of the student. We need to calculate the average marks of the student. That means I need to have another variable to store the average marks. Now let's say here integer average marks. Now let's take this average marks equal to, if it is a pass, then I need to find out the average marks. Now we are going to find out the average marks, total marks by, we have a total subject is 5. So that is average marks which we are going to get it. Now that is done. Now find out the student grade as below. That means we need to check average marks and grade. If the average marks is greater than equal to 60, grade A. If the average marks is greater than 50 and less than 60, then it has to be grade B. If it is a average marks are greater than or equal to 40 and less than 50, then it should be grade C. Then it should be grade C. Now this is the condition which I need to cross verify. Now here I am going to check the average marks within the if condition. I am writing the if average marks greater than or equal to 60. If it is a greater than or equal to, then I am going to print system dot debug. Now here I am going to say this is a grade A. This is grade A. And in case else if the average marks are greater than or equal to 50 and average marks is less than 60. Less than 60. Then we are going to print system.debug grade B. Grade B. Now in case this is also not true, then another else if condition. Another else if condition, if it is greater than 40, greater than or equal to 40 and less than 50. Less than 50, then it should go to the grade C. Grade C. Now here we have a if condition for the pass marks. If in case if they got it, then I'm finding the average marks. If they are finding the average marks, now here I'm going to print grade A. Let's print the another variable also here. Grade A and average marks. Average marks plus I'm going to print what are the average marks there. This is the average marks. System.debug. Right, so this is, I'm printing it. Now if I try to execute it, what will happen? If I try to execute it, what will happen? What is the output? Will I get it?
Better luck next time.
We'll get a better luck next time. Let's see the, click on execute it. Attempted to dereference null object. For which one it is saying that attempted to dereference null object. Let's check that. Which line it is? Line number 8. Line number 8 it is checking. Right, so here is the integer. So before the if condition, if else condition, we have an integer. Right, so whenever it is trying to calculate the integer, then it is going to give me here. It's not even going the if condition and else condition. It is only breaking at the 8th line. So let's declare some values here. Let's say here maths equal to 72, Hindi equal to let's say 45, and then equal to 56, physics equal to let's say some 69, equal to 80, and that's it. Average marks, we are going to get it. Now let me execute this. Execute the highlighted one. So click on your debug. Now you got a passed. Total marks are 332. Grade A. Average is 64. Average is 64. So if it is a 64, now here I have a greater than 50. Greater than 50. So which is a greater than 60, which is a grade A. Let's say that every subject I got a 40 marks. Every subject 40 marks. Now let's try to execute this. Execute the highlighted one. Debug. Now grade C. Average marks is 40. Right, so total marks is 200. So 40 is either equal to 40 or greater than 40. For example, in one of the subject I got a less marks, let's say 39. Just a 1 marks is different. Now let's say try to execute the highlighted one. Now this time it is going to give me the output as better luck next time. Right, so that is about the nested if condition. This is about the nested if condition. Now take a assignment, write a program for Indian railway ticket. For Indian railway ticket, using the nested if. Like there is a age and a text message. So whenever there is a age below 5 or equal to 5, you have a 100% discount on your ticket. If it is a less than or equal to 12, then that means 50% discount. If it is a less than or equal to 26, then there is a 10% discount. If it is a less than, if it is a greater than 60, then it is a 25% discount on your ticket. If it is a less than 1, then you are not allowed to travel. If it is a less than 1, not allowed to travel. So create this using a nested if. Take a notes of it. Okay, next assignment. Write the Apex program to know the eligible to work using the nested if else statement, age and text message, if it is a less than 18, you are a minor, no eligible to work. If it is a greater than or equal to 18, and if it is a less than or equal to 60, you are eligible to work. Or else you are too old to work as per the government rules. Take notes of it. Let me know once it is done. Okay. Now, sometimes what will happen is during the if condition or else condition, which are the condition, when you have a one statement. For example, if it is a more than one statement, you can write it in the curly braces. You can write it in the curly braces. But if you have a only one sentence, assume that system.debug grade A, I wanted to print it. You need not to add a curly braces here. Curly braces are not required. When you have a one statement, then curly braces of the if condition or a else if condition is not required. Curly braces are not required inside the if or else if. Now let's say here I'm executing. Here again, I remove the curly braces here. Now let's execute the program. Now it is executed and I got the output of whatever it is there. Right, when you have a single sentence or single line execution, then you do not need a curly braces. You do not need curly braces. Now this is also, let's say here, I'm going to remove this. Let's take out this one. Now let's take, I'm removing this and else condition, else if. Now here 50, right? So let me change it to this is 70 and 80. Now let's see. Let's execute. Total marks is 269. It is going into the
Chemistry marks are 39.
okay. So let's go here to 79. Let's execute it. Now this is coming as a grade A. So grade A is printing it, right? So when you have a single line, then you do not need a curly braces. You can simply execute directly. When you have a more than one line, then you need a curly braces. You need curly braces. So in the real time, few people are just if condition, then just there is a just one line will be there, and then you'll have another conditions will be there. So do not get confused if and there is a only single line execution, that means curly braces is not required. Okay. So far we have seen the if condition, if else condition, right? So we have seen if else if, nested if, nested if we have seen. Now, so if I combine all these things, that means I have a if condition, then I'm going to execute the logic inside that. If this is executed perfectly fine, otherwise I have a else if condition. Else if condition, and this else if condition will be like till I get the valid information, I'll be keep on writing the else if condition. In case if this is qualified, then within that I'm again will be writing the another if condition. Same here also I'll be writing the else if, right? So again one more if condition, else if. Like this, we can keep on writing it. Finally, I can have a else. Finally, we'll have a else condition. Now we have another statement. Instead of going with the if else, we have another statement which is called as a switch statement. Switch statement. So switch statement is a bit faster compared to if else, but there is also drawbacks are there. We will see that. So switch statement is basically Apex is providing the switch statement which can be used to test whether an expression matches with one or of the several values of the branches. For example, here we have a marks. Now, when the marks is greater than 40, marks is greater than 40, then I wanted to execute one logic. If it is a marks is greater than 50 and less than, marks is less than, let's say 50. Either it is equal to 50 or let's say less than 70. If this condition, like this, I can put one condition. If you want to check one condition based on the expression, whatever the expressions are there, using the Apex program, using the switch statement, what we can do is we can test whether the expression matches with one of the several values. Like you have a 40, 50, 60, what are the values are there? In order to compare the values, what we can do is we can use the switch statement. We will see with the example. A switch statement can be used to replace the multiple if statements. Instead of you writing the if and again inside if another else if, instead of writing the multiple if statements, what we can do is we can go with the switch statement. It can provide more descriptive way of the comparing the values with multiple variants. Now, switch statement used to compare the values of variable expression, right, with the various branches. That means if any of the branch values are matching with the expression, branch values is nothing but we have some high level one code is there. Within that, we have some branches. Within that, we have some branches. Now, in the high level, I'm going to specify the expression. Now, here it is a marks. So this is the expression, marks is the expression. Now this marks, if I try to find out this branch is qualified or this branch is qualified, this branch is qualified. So based on the branch values, whatever these branch values are there inside this, whatever the expression is matching, then it will try to execute the block of statement. It will try to execute the block of statement. Now, if any of the branches values is not matching with the expression, then it will execute the default block statement. Default block statement. Take a notes of it. Okay, let's move on. Now, switch statement is usually switch statement execution is similar like in generic format. We are switching on the button. When we switch on the button, it will check the expression. Whether this expression is whatever the expression could be. Like I wanted to check the day number or a month number or whatever the expression is there. You can check, you can write the expression here. And within this expression, we will have a different branches. Within this, we have a different branches, like a branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, like that we will have a branch n. If any of the branch is qualified, if any of the branch is successful, so what will happen? It might go to the end statement. It will go to the end statement. For example, here it is a marks. Now I need to check the marks. Now on top, I have a marks is integer is defined. So marks equal to, they have mentioned, for example, some 79. 79 is the marks. So when it is mentioned 79 marks, now it will check. Here we have a different branches. That means here I have a 40 marks and 15 marks, and then 79 is the marks, and then finally we'll have a branch n condition. So expression is the marks. Inside this, it will check whether it is equal to 40. No, it is not equal to 40. Is this equal to 50? No, it is not equal to 50. Now, is this equal to 79? Yes, this branch is satisfied. This branch is satisfied. So what will happen? It will execute the statement and it will go to the end of the switch statement. It will go to the end of the switch statement. Now that means syntax is switch on the expression and the value. Now within that we have a when condition. When value equal to 1. So if whatever the value is there, when the value is this, then execute the statement. If the value is 2, when the value is 2, then execute the statement. When the value is 3, execute the statement. Now when like this, you can have a when else condition, till the else condition. Now this is compared to multiple if condition, the execution, the process of execution is bit faster. Now, in if else condition, what will happen? It will check each if condition. It will check, it will go to the first if condition. If this is not satisfied, it will go to the else, then it will go to the else, then it will go to here. If it is satisfied this one, then it will go to here, then it will go to here. Like this, it will go. But whereas in the switch statement, directly it will go to the whatever the value is there. So that means it is trying to identify which one is available. So compared to the multiple if conditions, switch statement performance is bit faster. Not taking notes of it. Now we'll see the example. Okay. So let's move on. Let's say this is the switch statement. Switch statement. Now, assume that I wanted to find the day number. Now, integer day number. Now, I'm going to use the switch on whatever the day number is there. I'm just passing here day number. Passing the day number. Now, within this switch on. Now, I'll just add a when condition. So, the syntax will be when in the value, right? And within this, we have a statement. Now, like this, we have. So, when one statement, when another statement, when another statement. Like this, it will go up to the assume that till when else condition. When else condition. Now, here, when day number is equal to 1, then I wanted to print system.debug. System.debug. Let's say it is Monday. Like this, I wanted to print the values. And this is the Tuesday. When it is 3, then I'm going to specify it is Wednesday. Well, in case if there is a nothing is assumed that the number is not matching. I just given the only 1, 2, 3. If none of these are matching, then simply I'll say that system.debug either, let's say, not any of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, if I try to execute this, let's say execute it. Now it will go to the else condition because we have not specified anything. So click on the debug. Now let's say here, let's say I'm specifying the 3. And it is going to execute the highlighted one. It is 2.7, right? So that is the KB. So performance wise is how it is going to execute it. The switch statement is going to pass the number. Now, when it is passed the number, it will try to pass it, which one is qualified here, right? So if you wanted to cross verify the performance and everything execution, how it is executing it, we can compare exactly same with another if condition, right? So, but there is a drawbacks are there. That's the reason in the real time we do not use the switch statement mostly. So if your requirement says that you need to check only one variable, if your requirement says only check the one variable, and in that case this requirement works fine. Assume that along with the day number, I also wanted to find the month number. I also want to find the month number. Now, can I put two variables into the switch condition? Can I put two variables into the switch condition? Like switch on day number and month number. Day number and month number. If I try to execute it, execute the highlighted one. Now, logic operator can only be applied to the Boolean. Can only be applied to the Boolean. Now, if you wanted to check any condition here, now if it is a greater than, let's say if it is greater than the month number. This is not the valid. Let's say first number and second number. In case if you wanted to cross verify this, or if you wanted to get the output of this, whatever the output is there, in that case, whether it is a true or a false. Now then I can print it. But here I cannot verify the two different integer values in the switch on condition. Only one variable value I can check it. I can compare it. Like if I have a first number, second number, and I wanted to compare the first number is greater than the second number, those things I can check it. Those things I can check. Or like I wanted to find out the total marks. Now if the total marks is above 40, then print this. Or if it is below 40, then print this. If it is equal to 40, print this. Or else print other one. So that only with one variable you can do execution of it. You can do the execution of it. But when you have a more than one variable, for example, you have a like a three variables you need to cross verify, like we have to do in the if condition. Now here we are checking the math, Hindi, English, basics, chemistry. Now those all I cannot check it here. Now if I try to say here, let's execute this. Now let's say right, so here I wanted to check the switch on. Now switch on. Instead of a if condition, I wanted to check switch on. These all variables. Switch on. These all variables. Is it greater than 40 or not? Right? If it is a true. Now if I'll say here when. Now let's open the condition. I'll say here when true. Now I wanted to execute this, and when it is a when else. Right, if I try to execute this, right, so it is going to throw me an error. It is going to give me an error. Boolean is a not valid switch expression type. Whatever the switch expression type is there, it's not valid. So that means in the switch expression, it will accept only one variable. But if you wanted to check the multiple conditions, but the output should be the Boolean. Output should be the Boolean or a kind of a single value you should be getting it. Single value you'll be getting it. Like a total marks, you can check the total marks. That should be totally fine. So if the total marks, when it is greater than 40, when it is less than 40, when it is equal to 40, then I can give those information and else condition. But this one, adding the multiple variables in the switch does not work. Adding the multiple variables in the switch does not work. Now here we switch and the day number, it is going to pass the number and it is immediately go to the when condition and it will check all the conditions step by step. But the execution is little bit faster, though it is checking the each when condition. So immediately as soon as it finds the which when condition is satisfied, then it will execute that particular statement block. Right, so that's about it. Is that clear, Sunil? Is that your question? Which statement will be used to optimize the purpose? Okay. Now, that's about the switch statement. Take a assignment of the switch statement. Write a Apex program to print the text based on the grade. To print text based on the grade. Grade number, grade text. Now here we have a grade number A is nothing but a excellent. C is nothing but a well done. D is nothing but you passed. F is nothing but better try again. Default is invalid grade. Now we are getting a grade in the total marks, right? So what are the total marks after the total marks? Now we need to decide the grade. Now you need to use the switch statement. If your grade is A, then you need to show the message excellent. If it is a C, well done. If it is a D, you passed. If it is a F, better try again. If it is a default, invalid grade. Invalid grade. Take a notes of it. Next assignment, write a Apex program to create a simple calculator. Define N1 equal to 10, N2 equal to 30, and mention the operator in operator field. If it is a plus, then you need to add the addition of the output. What are the addition? 10 plus 30. Whatever the output is that you need to provide the output. If it is a minus, subtract output value. If it is a multiplication output value. If it is a division output value. If it is a else condition, then operator is invalid. If you have provided dollar or something else. That means in when condition, you need to check the operator. When condition, you need to check the operator. If any of these operator is matching, then you need to, based on that operator, you need to perform addition or a subtraction or a multiplication, whatever is there, you need to perform it. Take a notes of it. You can take the variable. In the variable, assume that user is providing the operator. String variable. In the string variable, you need to pass the operator. Like a string, operator value equal to, in quotation, you need to add a plus, minus, or a star division. Like this, you need to provide the input to the switch statement. Clear? Is that clear, Kranti? Is that clear question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Take the notes of it. Let me know once it is done. Taken the notes of it. Okay. So let's see a few questions here. What is a list type of collection? What is the list type of collection? What is the list type of collection?
It's a ordered collection which can have duplicate values, null values.
Right. So list is having a collection of ordered element. It can hold the or it can allow the duplicate values. What is the difference between the list and set?
allows duplicate.
Set don't allow duplicate values. It is unordered.
Right? Right. So list is basically, it allows the duplicate values, whereas set does not allow the duplicate values. And list is always stored as an index number. Whenever the list, the data is storing, it is always stored as an index, the 0th index or first index, whereas set does not have an index number. And list is an ordered collection and set is an unordered collection. Now, what is the collection in Salesforce?
It's a container.
Use it to store multiple values.
Multiple values at a time.
Right. So collection is basically used to store multiple data or multiple values of the same data type. Same data type. Right. So for the different values. What are the types of collection in Salesforce?
List, set, map.
Right. So we have a three type of collections, which is a list, set, map. Now, what is the scope of the list versus set versus map in the real-time project? Which one will be used in the real time?
List, map.
Okay, how can you decide whether I need to use the list or whether I need to use the set or whether I need to use map? Now you got a requirement, right? You have a three collection data types, list, set, map. Now, how do you decide it? Which one should I need to use it for this requirement? Now, the first thing is that you need to understand, do I need it? Do I need to store the duplicate values or not? Do I need to store a duplicate values or not? If I have to store a duplicate values, then in that case, it will go for a list. But before that, how do I wanted to store the values? Do I wanted to store the values of key value pair, or do I wanted to store it just a kind of a simple collection? Simple collection. Which one do I need to store the values? This is the first criteria. How do I wanted to store the information? For specific key, I wanted to get the values, or I just need a collection of items. That is the first criteria which we are going to sort it out in the real time. So when we are not interested in the key, then that means we do not need a map in the real time. Whatever the requirement is there, we do not need a map. If I do not want to store the key value, or I'm not interested to have a key at all, I just need just values only. Values that store the collection of information. In that case, avoid map. Map is gone. Now, between the list and set, which one should I need to use it? Map is gone away because we do not want to store the values into the key value. Now, between the list and set, which one should we use it? Now, you need to decide it based on the duplicate values, or you wanted to store duplicate values or not. Based on that, you can go for either list or a set. So this is how we will take a decision in the real time. So developer, whenever they are working on or coding the development, so first they will think that which way they wanted to store the output of the whatever the result is there, which way they wanted to store. They wanted to store it into the key value pair, or they just wanted the values only, not interested in keys, right? So in that case, we will go for deciding whether we want a map, list, sort, set. So first, anytime you get a real time, first check the whether the first criteria is do you need a key and value. If you are sure you need a key and value, there is no doubt go for a map. If you don't need a key, then the next decision is which one should I need to go for, set or list. So that is based on the duplicate values. So that's how we will take a decision in the real time. Now, auto sort is available in which type of collection?
Set.
Set and
List.
set and map, both of them, because map also has the key. Key is auto sorted. In the map, key is auto sorted. And next one is iterative statement. What is this iterative statement? Iterative statements are nothing but, for example, I have a one, I wanted to print something, let's say system.debug. Salesforce Apex classes. Now what will happen if I execute this? I'll get the output of this. I'll get the output of Salesforce Apex classes. But assume that I wanted to print it multiple times this one. I wanted to print this multiple times. When I wanted to print multiple times, that means I need to write the system.debug multiple times, right? Now, instead of writing this multiple times, what we can do is I can iterate through this. That means I need to put it into the loop. If I put it into the loop, then what will happen? It will keep on executed and it will print what are the how many ever lines we wanted, we can go for it. So which is called as a iterative statement. Iterative statement is I am keep on looping through the same code until it is satisfied. How do we know that until it is satisfied? Because starting of the loop, then we are going to specify the condition. So we will looping through this. That means iterative. That means it is going inside the same logic till it gets satisfied the condition. So which is nothing but a iterative statement. Which is nothing but a iterative statement. So iterative statements, these are the execute a block of statements continuously, they will execute it. It will keep on executing the same code multiple times till the required number of times, like till it meet the condition, whatever the final condition is there, till it meet the final condition, it will keep on executing, the continuously execute the code. And by using this iterative statement, we can reduce the number of lines of code. Now, why do you think we need to reduce the number of code? Now, let's go ahead here. I wanted to write this same as it is. I wanted to write this. That's okay. I do not want to put the iterative code. It's too complicated. I'll just print it multiple times. Now, when you write this logic within the Salesforce, what will happen? Now you cannot write the repetitive code. So one of the Salesforce Gartner limits or a best coding is don't repeat the same code again and again. What is the reason that do not repeat the same code again and again? That means we wanted to make it, the code is generic so that anybody can use it. So that is the one thing, and Salesforce always says that do not write the same code again and again. The reason is there is a limitation on the Apex classes. Maximum you can write the entire code. Whatever the logic you are writing in this org, the entire org limit is allowed around 6 crores or something. Let me check. Right, so 600. Right, so it is a 6 million. So 6 million is the character which we have to write it. So that's the amount including the everything apex classes trigger. But it will not consider the test classes. It will not consider the test classes. So only it will consider the apex classes trigger. So that means we have a some number. We have a some number which is a so here it is a 6 lakh which is going to consider. Now, in this 6 lakh, only your code limit, character limit is there. Now, if we are keep on writing the code, which is a repeated code, now what will happen? This only will take a lot of characters, it will take it. So that's the reason, as we have a limitations in the Apex, do not write any repetitive code inside the Salesforce Apex. Not only the Apex, where whatever you are executing it or wherever you are writing it, Lightning flows or Lightning Aura, LWC, Apex, Visual Force, wherever you are writing it, do not repeat the same code, which is not good for the developers. It does not seem like it is the best developer. So best developer always use the only one code and they will try to see how can we utilize the same code multiple places. That's how the developers thinks while writing the code because we have a limitation of 6 lakhs, right? So that's the reason we have got this iterative statement. So we can reduce the number of lines of code so that we can avoid the duplicate code and we can improve the application performance. Right? Sometimes what will happen is system.debug if you are writing multiple times. System.debug you are writing multiple times, then it will take a lot of space at the back end. So the performance is also there. Now, one more thing, system.debug take a lot of, you will see whenever you write a system.debug, there is a lot of space which you will be taken at the back end. That means the performance will be go slow. So that's the reason in the real time, whenever we are moving the code from the product, from any sandbox to the production, now this is a production and this is a, assume that this is some developer sandbox. From the developer sandbox, whenever we are moving to the production, the first thing which we need to do is how many system.debug logs do I have it? How many system.debug logs do I have it? Do not put after every line system.debug because for system.debug only lot of space is taken at the back end. That means performance will be increased. So the first thing the anybody is reviewing the code, what they will check is why do we need a system.debug here? So can we take out this? So maximum, at least they will put one system.debug and few members not at all, they will not put any debug logs. When we are pushing the data to the, when we are pushing the component to the production, we remove all the system.debug. So in case if there is any issue that happens, then if it is really needed for the developer to get it, then hardly we will put one or two. That is also very rare scenarios because we have a try catch exceptions, everything are there. So system.debug, do not use it in the real time for especially for the production when you are pushing to the production because that will take a lot of performance and the system will slow down because the debug logs keep on creating. Right, whenever the debug logs is created, then it will automatically increase the space at the backend. So we hardly write a system.debug in the real time. Only during the development we will write it, but when it push to the actual client side, so when we push it to the client org, then we will try to reduce as much as possible of the system.debug. And Apex is provided the 4 iterative statements. Now those iterative statements are while, do while, and for loop, enhanced for loop, enhanced for loop. So these are the 4 type of iterative statements. Take a notes of it. And that's all for today. I'm bringing in the trial head links.